Okay, as you saw, we exploited multiple vulnerabilities on the target. Just a few to demonstrate how vulnerability scan reports and analysis can lead to remote code execution and getting access from the target as a POC, which is proof of concept, of course. Because sometimes customers want to know if there was any effects on the environment, if their systems can be compromised and stuff. So that's the reason we do exploitation in ethical hacking steps. The last phase always is reporting, of course, but we don't have it in here. But other than that, the last step in ethical hacking is doing lateral movement, doing privilege escalation, doing persistence, or gathering loot. Let's say exfiltration. Especially in red team operations, these steps are followed and executed on the environment, of course, with the permission of the customer itself. And we call that post-exploitation. So all these steps are gathered to a category called post-exploitation. And here we want to do some simple post-exploitations just so you know what is going on with the topic, with the concept. So first, we have these accesses here. Let them be here. We can do post-exploitation also with Metasploit. But I want a better CNC. I want to show you the Empire CNC. And by CNC we mean command and control. It's a place for controlling and executing commands and managing and handling our sessions on the environment of the target. So sudo apt update, sudo apt install PowerShell -empire. Password. Let this go and install the Empire for us. And we will come back after the installation is over. Okay, so the installation will be momentarily done. We will continue on Empire framework. So we can run PowerShell-Empire to see the version. It's version 3, which is on Python version 3 and PowerShell version 5. But the version 4 of Empire is coming out. It's based on .NET, which is much better with a lot of security features or let's say functionalities and stuff like that. So sudo PowerShell-Empire, run it. And sudo is because we want to listen on some ports and opening sockets needs super privileges. So if you are on version 3.8.2, this will be changed to version 4 in the near future. So one of the things that you should do on a CNC is creating your listeners. So we say listeners, list, nothing is there, use listeners, and if you double tap, you see we have multiple versions of HTTP listener, Metaperator listener, OneDrive listener, or we can have DBX listener. So for example, DBX info, it says Dropbox list staging folder, tasking folder, results. It needs a Dropbox API to work. So basically what is happening is you make Dropbox your CNC channel and then do the command and control there. But use listener, in here we just want to do the HTTP listener here. So the OneDrive one is also the same. The target will see OneDrive, the attacker will see OneDrive, and everything will be proxied through this famous Microsoft file sharing, or let's say file store cloud or something like that. So that's a really deep discussion to talk about why we use OneDrive, what impacts does it have, and what will be bypassed, such as Green Zone or EDR systems and stuff like that. But for now, just use HTTP listener, get info, set, you see the IP address is fixed, the port, set port 80, which by default is 80 for HTTP and 443 for HTTPS. We can have obfuscation on our listeners, but for now it's okay. Execute, and we are. So list, you see listeners, HTTP is listening on the attacker machine. So on Metasploits, we want to pass the sessions to this Empire and do some post exploitations. So let's create a stager for ourselves. Use a stager, tap, look for Windows. We want to pass the Windows one, And let's launch, for example, the bat. So launcher, bat, set output. So it's case sensitive, which is not cool, but it is. Win shell.bat, set listener to HTTP, show options. It has word completion with tab. So see, we can obfuscate. So set obfuscate the shellcode or the payload true with all these modules in here, obfuscation modules. AMSI bypass can be included in this. AMSI is a long story again. It's a defensive mechanisms that you should defeat in order to execute PowerShell code or malicious code. Anyway, let's execute this. I want to see what will be the results. So cat this file. See, this is the file that we want to run on our target. Let's do copy and paste to see if it is executable. I want to copy and paste the whole payload in here. So I copied it correctly and go to the Windows 1, so session/i2 shell, and run this. Chances are this cannot be executed on the shell because yeah, it's a lot of lines. So we wait on agents. We need to transfer the shell in here. Yes, so upload, where were we? We are in this directory. Upload, where is the file? So this file is in here. With Meterpreter, we can say, I want to upload this bat. And if I do ls again, you see our bat is in here. Shell and winshell.bat. We don't have. So winshell.bat executed. Let's see if we get any sessions on Empire. Yes, we do. So we got a session on Empire. If I do agents again, you see it says system access. The process is PowerShell on this machine with internal IP this, and the name of the agent is this. So if I get agents again, you see last seen changes. So the last time the session was beaconing on us. So this is beaconing style agent on the target as opposed to the Metasploit Meterpreter, which is established connection. There is no connection closeness stuff. So again, there's a lot into this. We have about, I think, 9 hours in our 40 hours applied ethical hacking and rules of engagement course about lateral movement, purpose escalation, persistence, and host exploitation in general. But anyway, in here we have the access. Let's interact with it. Interact, PG, help. You see we have a lot of commands, a lot of items to work with. We can do bypass UAC if our access is not in a high integrity. Yes. We get another shell, but we were system already. Agents. There should be another session coming up. If everything goes well, sometimes it doesn't. So let's interact again. It seems that we don't have access. Oh, not in a medium integrity process. So that's why it was not executed, because we already are, as I told you, system access. Anyway, these modules are in here. Dir list. What does it do? It says dir list task and agent to store the contents of the directory in the database. There's a lot. You can write PowerShell, you can write Python and use in this framework. We can inject shellcode, we can get info. So see the info on this agent is available to us. Help again. We can steal token, spawn a process. So for example, a spawn, and we can say, I think, help a spawn, something like that. Yeah, it spawns a new Empire agent for a given listener. So spawn HTTP help or info, everything's fine. Execute. Back. We are back in agent. So if I go to the agents, there should be another session coming up. So Empire is really stable, as I know, and with this amount that I have worked with, I mean, you can trust its functionality when you are in a red team operation or ethical hacking project. So get help. We can do use module. So use module, do tab completion. You see a lot of modules are available to us. So for example, we can do persistent and install a persistent on the target like this. Info, it says I want to install the persistence on this agent. I want a listener, yes. I want obfuscation, yes, with these 3 modules in here. I want the MSI bypass. So when do you want this persistent to happen? 9 a.m. every day. Yes, let it be like that. The name of the persistent to be installed. Everything is fine, let's execute it. Yes. And momentarily, yeah, the agent will do the task for us. You see the scheduler service has installed the updater task. So if I get back, do shell sketch, what was it? Sketch tasks, I think. Somehow we could list the tasks. Oh, it is a sketch tasks. So do query for, what do we have with query? The name. So how we can specify the name? You see, it's really normal to forget the commands. You can find them with help. So I want the task updater to be queried. You see, it is installed. Next runtime is this date right here, 9 a.m. So that's what happens. We can run the task and see if it is working. So in a red team operation, you should always test your persistent access. Run it. We should get a agent momentarily. You see, we have 2 agents. Another agent should come up. It is coming up. We have it. So this one here is our persistent agent. We just executed, sooner than the time that it was scheduled to test whether or not our persistent is working. So interact with it. We can do log on passwords or Mimikatz, it is in here, to see if it is working. How about hash dump? Do we have hash dump? I think it's Mimikatz will do that, but you can do use module. Also, you can do search module, search for hash, for example. You see, it's really cool. It doesn't need to look for items by your eyes. You can just search for them. PowerShell, credentials, power dump, invoke Kerberoast. So Kerberoasting is another Active Directory attack which we cover in our applied ethical hacking. We can do dissync, LSA dump, SAM dump. Here it is. Yeah, this is it. Use module. So Mimikatz was running. You see the passwords are dumped in here. We can use these passwords on other targets. There's a lot to do. Use module, credentials, Mimikatz, SAM. Info, agent is set, execute. Let's see if we can get the hashes. You see the description, run power exploits, invoke Mimikatz function to extract hashes from SAM database. So SAM is the database in Windows that holds the hashes of that Windows system in there. So you can say creds to list the credentials for yourself, the hashes, the credentials, everything. So the job is started. We should have the hashes. You can say jobs to see if any pending jobs are ongoing, and there is none because the job just executed and we have the hash of every user. If I get creds again, I don't see the hashes. Maybe, let's see. These hashes I don't think are located or saved in a database, so you should save them just like this. Yeah, you should copy and paste in your notepad or something like that for later usage or for your reports. So we can do sysinfo to get the system information of this target, and we can come back. So background, if you get agents, you see these targets are coming back with a delay of 5 seconds. I personally suggest Cobalt Strike on above all red teaming frameworks or CNCs. We have about 7 hours working on Cobalt Strike on our Applied Ethical Hacking and Rules of Engagement course. But here I just wanted you to see the Empire framework also. It is really capable of doing a lot of things. Okay, let's work with the Linux boxes. You see, Empire is cross-platform. It can get access from, let's see, use stagers. It can get access from Mac OS X, from Linux, Windows, and yeah, multi. Let's see. For example, you can say multi bash. Use a stager multi launcher, not bash launcher. Info. Set listener, yes. Set language to Python. So Python. Info again. Set out file. Temp lin.sh or lin.py. Let's say sh for now. Well, I think it's gonna be a Python file, of course. Base64, yes. Obfuscate, true. Let's execute that. The file is created. Let's cat it. Cat, clean, this. Permission denied. Sudo cat. Here it is. Here it is, the command that we can use to get access from any Linux machine with Python access. So here we are. Let's Control C. Back around the job, sessions. Let's get session 5 shell, paste, run, and we have it. We have a Python agent here. You see, it is exploitable 3 Ubuntu. The access is data. The process is Python 3. The delay is 5 seconds again, and yeah, we can interact with it like this. Get help. The commands are a little different, but you can shell who am I. You can shell netestat, for example. Any command. You see, the netestat is printed here. You can use module, tab, and you see we can do a lot of things with these modules. These are all post-exploitation, everyone. So these packages can be worked. You can work on every one of these. You can do key logging. You can do hash dump, run a sniffer on the target, copy the clipboard, this one. And in the OS X also you can get access from OS X machines. So Empire doesn't care about the OS. It will get access from whatever OS. You can run the module. You can run the stager. This red one is dead. So whatever is red is not coming back. But again, personally, I recommend Cobalt Strike, which is the most powerful and customizable red teaming framework available today. That's my idea. Let's continue to wrap things up for this mini course in here.